Alright everyone, welcome back to the channel. We start off today taking a look at yet another police body cam video that has gone viral. This was actually back in November of 2023, so this is nothing new, so it actually has gone viral this year since it was released. Now I have covered these kinds of videos here on the channel before. I think I made like 2 or 3 on the channel if I remember correctly. I know the last time I made a video like this, it involved some British cops that were freaking out over something that was said by one of the people who they were talking to. But today in this video, we're going to be discussing what we're about to see is something that I can really only describe as one of the most abysmal and inept displays of policing behavior that I have honestly ever seen. I mean, this is just, it's just bizarre. Like, this is almost like kind of something that you would expect to see in like a fucking Saturday Night Live skit or something along those lines. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, it's that goddamn ridiculous. Like, without even showing you this video, which I will be showing you some of these clips here and there here on this video, but if I didn't, like, show you some of the clips or show you this video or link it in the description, which I always do, like, without showing you this video, if I were to describe every single action that has happened and describe the entire situation, I reckon a lot of you guys would have an extremely difficult time believing me here. Like, it's that fucking bizarre. So essentially, this cop in the video, this body cam footage, this, by the way, took place in Matt Gaetz territory, in case some of you are curious. This actually happened in my state, believe it or not. No surprise. But this cop was walking away from his police cruiser, and there's already a dude who is already handcuffed in the back of the police car. And keep in mind, this was a criminal that we're talking about. This guy was a legit criminal who was just arrested for, I believe, Grand Theft Auto, if I remember correctly, or robbery or burglary of some sort. I don't remember the exact charge that it was, but he was arrested legitimately for a crime that he had commit. There's also some, like, you know, domestic violence that was going on in the background. He was also armed too. Keep this in mind, he was armed with a suppressed pistol, but the thing is, he was already detained, he's already in handcuffed, he's in the back of the police car, and as this cop was walking away from his cruiser for a moment, a bunch of acorns from the top of the oak tree fell and hit right on the back of the police car, and the cop, for some reason, thought that there were gunshots, so he flipped out and he was like, oh my god, shots fired, oh my god. And then he like pulls out his gun, and then more acorns fell onto him, and he's like, oh my god, I've been hit. And he's just continuously emptying the magazine of his pistol, aiming carelessly onto the car, like not even hitting his own car. These shots were just going completely nowhere. They could hit somebody if someone was like standing there and cause some serious injury or possibly even death. Regardless if you are a cop or if you're not a cop, you shouldn't be aiming your gun in the middle of fucking nowhere. It's dangerous and it could cause harm or death if you were to do so. And again, the guy that they just arrested was a violent felon. He was wanted for previous crimes, and he was already committing a crime. And he was already armed with a suppressed pistol. But he's in the back of the police car and he's handcuffed and locked in there. He's not even armed anymore. He's not even a threat to you. And yet you are still freaking the fuck out just because a bunch of acorns fell on top of your car. I understand, again, let me reiterate, the cops had an absolute good reason to arrest the dude. He is a violent criminal making threats and committing crimes. Good for him, he deserves to be locked up. But this is just a completely childish fucking reaction that we're about to see right over here in just a little while. So let's go ahead and just roll some of this footage and talk about this whole thing.
Shots fired! Shots fired! Shots fired! You know. I'm hit! What? I'm not! In the car! I was shot through the car! Oh!
Okay, so, I mean, where the goddamn fuck do I even start? All right. For starters, once again, he apparently, like an acorn, fell onto his car, and it hit right on the back of his car, and it made like a small ping noise, and this dude, for some reason, thought that a gunshot has went off and that he was under fire from a supposed firearm. So, I don't know why a sound like that would have even been like, like a thought of some sort. And keep in mind, like I keep saying over and over again, the dude was already arrested. He was already locked into the police car. He was already in handcuffs. He already had no weapons on him whatsoever. And for some stupid reason, the cop still thought that this dude was armed, still thought that he had his suppressed handgun on him, and because a little tiny acorn fell on the back of his car, he thought that the shots were fired, so he just fell onto the ground, thought he got hit because yet another acorn falls on him, and then he starts panic firing towards the car, sometimes even having his shot go straight into the middle of fucking nowhere, and instigating his deputy partner to start shooting on the car as well, causing even more havoc in the process. And even the tap of an acorn, like even a tap of like one tiny little acorn compared to a suppressed pistol, those can make completely different sounds. Like I assume that this dude who is shooting his gun aimlessly has absolutely no knowledge of firearms whatsoever. If you think that a little tiny acorn falling onto your car sounds exactly like a gunshot, then you have no right to be a cop. I'm sorry. And yes, I understand. The suspect did originally have a suppressed weapon on him, and suppressors don't silence the weapon entirely. For some reason, people like to refer to them as silencers, even though they don't silence the shooting of the weapon. They suppress sound. That's why they are called suppressors. They still can make a noise, and not like the whole pew 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 kind of noise. Like if you're shooting a suppressed weapon towards glass, not only you're going to hear the gunshot, which is significantly more quiet than without the suppressor, but even with the suppressor, you're still going to hear the glass shattering. Like if you're aiming a suppressed pistol towards a piece of glass, you're going to hear that glass break and shatter into like a million pieces. So it would have sounded much different than just a tap of an acorn falling on top of the back of a car.
I'm good. I feel weird, but I'm good. I'm good.
Now, as we can see here, thankfully the cop is, he's good, he's fine. He was completely wrong in this whole thing, and nobody was hurt in this situation. And judging by the way he was shooting his gun, literally aimlessly in the middle of nowhere, honestly, it is such a miracle. Like, it's literally a goddamn fucking miracle that this cop did not have somebody killed by his actions. Like, the dude was literally emptying his entire magazine in panic because an acorn fell on the back of his car. He was shooting not just towards the car, but in random different directions, literally in the middle of nowhere, while in a residential area, since you can see that there are houses here. What if one of those bullets went straight to a car and somebody was in there and they get hit? What does that look like? That cop would literally be a liability in that situation if a bullet were to hit somebody in either in the houses or even in the car. Like if somebody were to get killed because a cop is shooting randomly for a falling acorn, that could be enough to warrant an involuntary manslaughter charge on him. There is absolutely no justification for this behavior whatsoever. We've seen a ton of these cases happen before here in this country especially. This right here is the problem with policing in America, right? And I know there's a lot of these people, the police state authoritarians, like the thin blue line cult who are like gung-ho for the police and are like, oh yeah, back the blue, we gotta support our law enforcement as much as we can. You gotta stand up for your law enforcement. And they'll make all these kind of stupid excuses and find justification for whatever cop's behavior, whether it's good or not. And don't get me wrong, I am a pro-police type of individual. I support law enforcement, and I support protecting and serving our community. And I get the point, yes, support your law enforcement, and you should stand up for the ones who actually do their jobs properly, and you stand up for the ones who actually know what the fuck they are doing. When you have cops, just like this jackass that we saw, walking around society, it does several different things. It insurmountably increases the risk that someone will die at the hands of police in your community, number one. It insurmountably increases the likelihood that a cop or other cops will end up being killed or hurt in the line of duty, number two. And number three, it corrodes public trust in their local police enforcement, leading to people rioting and looting, causing an increase in even more crime. We pretty much do have this policing issue in this country. That explains why crime has gone completely out of control in recent years. And most of this is as a result of these stupid cops, which in turn justifies the behavior of some of these crap devoid groups like BLM and Antifa, who go out and anytime a cop actually does exactly his job and what he is supposed to do in whatever situation that he is in, he gets called a Nazi and a white supremacist because he manages to prevent a crime from happening. And then all hell breaks loose. And in the case that we see right here, this could potentially open them up to some form of like legal action because, I mean, this dude's probably, I would assume, going to like, sue the police department for these two idiot cops unloading their goddamn pistols at him for no reason in a locked car when he already had his hands behind his back and had already been disarmed to begin with. It doesn't matter how you view this entire situation. There is absolutely no justification for either of these cops to have fired their guns even once. You don't open fire unless you are genuinely being threatened. And even if you are threatened, you don't even have to use your gun. You can also use your taser, or you even have like pepper spray or mace armed on you. You do not open fire when you think that the dude who was handcuffed in the back of the police car has fired like some sort of shot. And he wouldn't be able to do that anyway, because again, he is handcuffed, already contained. This dude posed no threat whatsoever. You firing your gun for absolutely no reason, not even aiming towards the car and where you heard the shots, aiming in the middle of nowhere in a residential area just makes the situation more worse. This is why the recruitment level for cops has been getting lower and lower each year. Less cops are going to be afraid to do their jobs. The recruitment level drops, and as a result, crime significantly increases. The lack of trust of the polices lead to layoffs, it leads to resignations, it leads to the recruitment level dropping, and it also leads to the crime increasing. Again, it's douchebags like these as the reason why crime continues to increase. And it's not only that there's just rigorous training on being a cop anyway. I've been through it before. They literally tell you when or when not to use lethal force in any given situation. Only use lethal force when you or others are in danger of getting killed. This right here is not a situation that somebody can get killed. Nothing is happening besides a falling acorn. And being a cop is not easy. It's not the easiest thing in the world. We're underpaid, by the way. And learning is not necessarily the hardest part, but your lifestyle too. You have to have a specific diet, you have to have PT every now and again, you have to get your physical once a year. It's not necessarily a career that is specifically meant for everybody and anybody. Not everyone's cut to be police officers. And as we can see from right here, these dudes are clearly, and I mean clearly, not fit to be police officers whatsoever.
I'm not. I don't know. It felt like it.
Jesse, move over to me. I got you. Move over to me. Jesse, come back. Mark vehicle right there.
Dude, am I hit?
Come on. This way.
Now, this is the end of the video, and you'll notice that there are more police officers on the scene than there were originally. Towards the beginning of that video, I think there was like, I don't know, just 2 or 3 cops that were on the scene when this Acorn incident happened. But now there are significantly more cops in that footage than there were in the beginning of this video. And some of these guys are SWAT dudes, like, you know, they got the rifles and the tactical gear and whatnot. And now the car is just completely surrounded by other cop cars, even though the dude is already restrained and he did absolutely nothing despite what's going on. The guy was already in the back of the cop car. He was already handcuffed, and now there's more cops deployed to the scene, all because some random cop freaked out over acorns falling onto his car. And now, obviously, ever since the release of this video, the whole situation has become a meme. Oh my god, cops in America are afraid of walnuts and acorns falling on top of their car, thinking that they're gunshots? Wow, those American cops are so fucking stupid, man. Yeah, exactly. You don't see any of this shit happening in any other countries, by the way. I mean, this was a completely stupid situation that we saw unfold here. And now you understand and see why people strongly dislike American cops. Now, obviously, the cop that was firing his gun randomly over the falling acorns, the body cam footage that this came from, that cop has thankfully resigned from his position. Good, but not good enough. To be fair, I think charges should be filed for this guy immediately. Like, just by doing that alone, just by firing your gun randomly just like that and freaking the fuck out, you already put so many people's lives at risk. Again, let me reiterate, what if one of these bullets hits somebody, kills them, or seriously injures them? You would be at fault for that. That should be enough to warrant, I don't know, an attempted murder charge of some sort, like an attempted, like, manslaughter, if I'm not mistaken. Like, if I did this, like, let's say I live in Florida, all right? Florida, open carry state. Here, where I'm from, we are a castle doctrine and stand your ground state. Open carry, constitutional carry, whole 9 yards. What if there was a situation where I'm at the mall and I'm just, you know, sitting there minding my own business. I walk to the parking lot, I go to my car, and then all of a sudden, some random person right across from me hears what sounds like loud banging noises that was caused by a bunch of acorns falling on top of his car, and this dude hears this banging. That's not any reason that you should be going out and hiding into a bush and go completely Fortnite mode and start emptying your mag nonstop and firing randomly. That's gonna make the situation so much worse, and it's gonna lead to mass panic. That's basically what this cop did in this footage. There's literally special training not to do that. And even if shots are fired, just a few are only enough, and shoot them on the ground. Fire a few warning shots. Don't go out and empty your mag and start shooting randomly in different directions if you're seriously under a threat. Just shoot a few warning shots and call for backup. And by the way, with all these stupid incidents that we've been seeing with police as of late, maybe Optimus and Styx Hexenhammer really do have a point when they talk about situations like this. Maybe we really should get rid of these metropolitan forces, because it seems like most of these events happen with metropolitan cops. This is the Fort Walton Beach Police Department, if I remember correctly. Maybe we should be doing exactly what Optimus and Styx Hexenhammer both suggest. Get rid of all the metropolitan police forces and go back to the days of us having just sheriffs and constables. But usually the sheriff's department, although not perfect, take a look at what happened 6 years ago, but there's certainly less scandals and less controversies as compared to the metropolitan cops. Just having elective peacekeepers would get rid of at least most of the issues that we have here in this country, but it absolutely won't solve every problem that we have here. But yeah, this whole entire situation is just absolutely fucking nuts. So let me hear what you guys think about this whole situation. Do you think this cop is an idiot for what he did? Do you think that this was the right thing he did? How differently do you think he should have acted? What should you think he should have done instead of what he did? Again, as always, leave all your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below, as I always end the conversation down to you. And with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed, be sure to hit that like button down below. And if you're new around here, be sure to subscribe to the channel and ring the little notification bell. Be sure to follow me on all my social medias, links are in the description below. Share this video around with your friends, families, boyfriends, girlfriends, enemies, whomever. Definitely helps me out a lot, helps the video grow, and helps grow the channel if you were to share this video with whomever you know. I know there's been a slight delay of some videos that should have came out originally, but again, got a lot of personal stuff going on, plus jury duty, which I have to deal with. Can't really do anything about that, don't really have a choice. But once I get all of the heavy lifting stuff out of the way, content should resume back to normal. I should be uploading a lot more. I know I keep saying this, but I'm in a good mood now. I got a lot of shit planned in the future, so stay tuned. Make sure you subscribed, and make sure you turn on those notifications once you subscribed. And make sure those notifications are on all and not partial. But anyways, guys, like, subscribe, ring notifications, and until then, take care, talk soon, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.